Welcome to the exponential graph and its translations. For any exponential graph, the domain is all real x, the range is y is greater than 0, the x-axis is a horizontal asymptote, so it will approach the x-axis, the function is 1 to 1, which we've covered in a previous video, the curve is always concave up, and it is increasing at an increasing rate. This is something we will cover it a little bit later, but we'll have a look at it anyway. So here's our exponential graph. So this is y equals e to the x, or anything to the power of x generally, but this is our exponential one. Notice that it crosses when x equals 0, y equals 1, because anything to the power of 0 is 1. As mentioned, the x-axis is a horizontal asymptote. It is always increasing, so it's increasing at an increasing rate. So you'll notice that it actually gets steeper as it goes along, and it's always concave up. Our rules for translation of a graph. So if we affect the x, it shifts left or right, and there's an example there. If it affects the function, so that is, we add or subtract something from the end, we shift it up or down. If we replace the x with a minus x, it reflects over the y-axis. And if the function is multiplied by minus 1, we reflect it over the x-axis. So let's have a look at translating y equals e to the x. So we're going to have a look at e to the minus x. So notice the effects on the x. Then we're going to do e to the x. So we're adding 3 to the function. And then we're going to affect the x again by minusing 2 from the x value. So the first one. So e to the x, if we change it to e to the minus x, so remind if we times x by a minus, we reflect it over the y-axis. Second one, if we add 3, notice that we pushed it up 3. So where it crossed the y-axis was at 0, 1. It now crosses at 0, 4, 3 further up. The asymptote used to be y equals 0, so the x-axis. The asymptote is now y equals 3. So everything moves 3 up. And for our third one, we're affecting the x. So x minus 2, so if we let x minus 2 equal to 0, x equals 2. So it shuffles everything 2 to the right. And so where it crossed the y-axis at 0, 1, it moves 2 to the right and it passes through at 2, 1. And everything moves across